Hello and welcome. I'm going to demonstrate how you can weave cats using a rigid Heddle loom. I've been doing a lot of weaving on 8-shaft looms, and I had someone who asked me, can I weave cats like you do on the 8-shaft loom? You can. The process is a little different and it might take a little more time. Rather than weaving a whole row of cats, I'm going to demonstrate how you can weave one cat, but you could multiply this and weave across a loom that was threaded with a wider warp than the one I'm going to demonstrate with. So let's take a closer look at the loom and I'll go through the process. So let's first take a look at what you might call a cartoon or a way of designing. In this situation, I've decided to do the cats and I've used some basic graph paper. And I'd like you to imagine that each row is actually representing a thread that's in the loom. So we have all of these. Here I have 3 that are going across. Then we have 7, 9, 11, 11, and I keep changing until I get to the top of the cat and the ears. I'm going to do the same process that I do with the cats that I weave on an 8-shaft loom. That is basically an overshot technique where I'm going to be using a dark thread, as you can see the cat here, for the cat. And then I'm going to weave the tabby with another color. Now, one thing I'd like you to remember that you might think this is like tapestry loom. Tapestry weaving is not quite, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use this for the cat, then I'm going to weave tabby back and forth to lock the picture in, and I'm going to can keep weaving. And once you see the process, maybe you might think of some other things that you could do. So the first thing I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm showing you only one cat at a time rather than a row. And I've already figured out that the 3 in the middle are going to represent the cat's tail. Now, pickup sticks, normally you pick it up. In this case, I'm pressing it down. If you want to use a stick, you can. You can press it down. Now, this would be very helpful if you were weaving a whole row of cats, because then you could pick up or push down all the threads that you need for each one. In this case, though, I don't necessarily need to use this every time, but I'm going to at least represent what you could do or show you what you could do. So I'm going to start by placing the first thread in for the cat tail, and I'm going to beat that down. But I'd like to show you what I'm doing on the paper here. So right now, I just push down 3 threads for the first part of the tail. As you can see here, I have to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But between each one of those, I am going to do a tabby. Now, right now to get started, I usually have the reed in the rest position. And what I'm doing now is, if I'm going to my left, I have to remember where I was, just like many of us do on our rigid Heddle. I am now going to take the shuttle and I'm going to pass it through and take this out, and I'm going to beat it. Then I'm going to put this back in the rest position. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I have the brown, the darker, heavier brown. I am going to, again, press down 3 threads, and from underneath, I am going to pass it through. Like I said, I could use my pickup stick, but in this case, since it's only a few threads and I'm only doing one, it's not necessary. And I'm just going to push that down a little bit. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise all the threads up, and I'm going to pass the shuttle back the other direction. Now, while I'm doing this, at the moment, my one dog wants me to play. So if every once in a while you see a dog tail go by, that's what's happening. Okay, I'm going to beat that one, and I'm going to put it back in the rest position, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to now press down 3, and I am going back the other direction. Now, I happen to like to do what I call a chase. I like to take the darker thread, which, by the way, is about twice the diameter of the other thread. That helps it pop a little bit better. And then, again, I am going to take the tabby and go back the other direction. And I can beat it again. Put this back in the rest position. And I'm ready to do another set of 3 for the dark. You might want to kind of watch the back. Sometimes they get a little tangled in the back there. I'm going to press that down. 2 shuttles, I mean. We're going to go back the other way. And beat it. Back to the rest position. I have 2 more to do for the cat tail. This is where I want to make sure I don't get that tangled with the tabby. Looks like I missed on that one. And every once in a while you might have the one that you started with show up, and that's what just happened with that. Go back the other way. Beat it. And then I have one more to do. Pressing those 3 down. Bringing this back. Going up. Coming back with the base thread, the background, feeding it. And now I'm going to put this back in the rest position, and let's take a look at what I need to do next. We just finished the cat with the 3, and on the side here I have 7. So I know the first 3, and then I have 2 on each side that I'm going to press down. And again, sometimes the pickup stick can be very helpful on this, or in this case, the push down stick. So I have 5, 6, and 7. And like I said, if you were doing a whole row, you could put that on its side to help you keep it open while you take your yarn through. And now we go back again with the tabby. All right, like I said, we just finished up with the 7. Now I'm going to do 9. I'm going to make sure this is in the rest position again. And using the pickup stick, all I have to do is pick up or push down 1 on each side. And now I have 9. And again, like I said before, if we wanted to, we could actually put the pickup stick in. That's what I'm going to show now. I'm going back the other way. And you can push that if you'd like. And now we're going to go back the other direction. And we're going to beat it. Back in the rest position. And like I said before, you might see a little dog's tail going back and forth. And this time I need to do, according to my pattern, we are going to do 11. So again, I'm just going to push down 1 more on each side and take this one back through. And I can beat that down a little bit if I want to. Take that out. And go back the other direction. If you notice now on the pattern, I need to do 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then I'm going to reduce it. So we'll do a fast forward showing you how that works. All right, now it might be a little hard to see, but what I've done is I have 2 down and 2 down. I'm ready to do the kitty cat ears. And I'm going to take this back through to do the one set of ears, or the bottom part. And like I've done before, we need to go back with this shuttle through there. And thank you, Maggie. Maggie just put the ball in my lap. And then go back. And now we're going to do, I have just the tip of the ears. So I'm going to take one on one side. And, oh, gotta get it down. One. Again, it might be a little hard to see. And another one. So I have that. I'm going to take the brown back through. And what I'll be doing with all the browns when I'm finished is or the brown part, I'll weave it all back in behind that then. Okay, we have that. And we will come back. And what we'll do is we will do basically some tabby back and forth. And do one more. Put this back in the rest position. And then you can kind of see what the kitty cat looks like. Kind of hard to see maybe. Looks like that one little brown one. Sometimes if you're doing only one, you might need to just kind of pick it up a little bit. But there you go. There's a cat using overshot and using a rigid Heddle loom. And now you can also start to think of maybe a lot of other animals and critters. All you need to do is get a piece of graph paper, make your design on it, decide how many threads, and again, thinking about the thickness of your thread that you're using, and maybe you'll come up with all sorts of possibilities.